What would you do if someone stole your identity? And I don't mean just financially, I mean just stole everything about you, became your doppelganger. Well, we're going to find out what The Undertaker did. Welcome, ye bunch of wrestling sadists, to another spine-crunching episode of the Wrestling Fan Wrestling Show, where we dissect the most bizarre, electrifying, and sometimes just downright stupid moments in this squared circle. Today we're delving into the past of WWE to unearth a storyline so absurd it can only happen within the wild world of professional wrestling. We're talking about The Undertaker versus The Underfaker. Saga. 1994. I remember it well. Boys to Men promised to make love to me, and wrestling storylines were as flamboyant as the neon tights and mullets that adorned the superstars. The Undertaker, portrayed by the Mark Calloway, was already a supernatural force to be reckoned with, wielding his tombstone pile driver and eerie presence to strike fear into the hearts of opponents and fans alike. He already ploughed through larger-than-life opponents like Hulky Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, and he was undone by the massive Samoan Japanese sumo wrestler Yokozuna at the Royal Rumble, where he lost the match by being locked inside a coffin before resurrecting himself and raising to the heavens, thus disappearing off our screen for an undetermined period of time. Just like my daddy did.
How come you don't want me, man?
With fans lamenting the loss of one Undertaker, out of the darkness emerged a doppelganger. Is doppelganger German? Have you had German wrestlers? Ludwig Kaiser, I think he's German. He could be Austrian, because I know Walter Gunter, he's definitely Austrian. Is Ludwig Borga? So yeah, a counterfeit dead man emerged, another Undertaker, just like a counterfeit dollar bill, and therefore, of course, must be brought forth by none other than the $1 Million Man himself, Ted DiBiase. Yes, DiBiase claimed that he had convinced The Undertaker to come back with vast amounts of money. I'm quite happy that I hit that high note, to be fair, and made him a member of his $1 Million corporation, not the corporation that Vince McMahon had, and then they became the Ministry of Darkness that actually had an Undertaker in it, the corporate ministry that had the Undertaker in it. This is only a few years after. There's probably stuff because he sacrificed Stephanie and then became the higher power. There's lots of stuff in that, but no, it's 94. I need to stay in 1994. How do I do it? Hakuna Matata, life is like a box of chocolates. Yes, Lion King, Forrest Gump, two of the most popular movies back then.
This is crack.
And if you're going, Shane, like, where did this Undertaker get his power from? Because the Undertaker originally got his power from the urn that I think contained his parents' ashes, but like green smoke came out of it one time, and I don't know if that is like his parents' ghost.
What is in that urn?
Well, this Undertaker, he liked the colour green. Oh yeah, that's Macho Man. A bad Macho Man imitation, I'll give you that. He got his powers from money, of which Ted DiBiase had a lot of. Anyway, picture it. A pale imitation of the original, clad in black, with a fraction of the mystique, a smidgen of the muscle mass, and none of the gravitas. And as the storyline would infer, he bloody loves money. What could possibly go wrong? It was like witnessing a cosmic glitch in the wrestling universe, as if someone had hit the randomize button on a WWE 2K video game character creation screen and ended up with a wonky, half-baked, mangled zombie clone instead of, like, the real deal, ya know? Now, you might be wondering, how did this preposterous plotline come to fruition? Well, it all began over a dispute of who truly owned the rights to the Undertaker moniker. Fake Diesel, fake Razor Ramon came a few years later. Anyway, somehow in order to continue The Undertaker's mystique, the higher-up thought that the Paul Bearer legal wranglings and contractual loopholes was the way forward. And what ensued was this melodramatic legal custodian showdown of supernatural proportions. Oh, we're cooking now, boy. The WWF marketing machine went into overdrive, hyping up the clash of the dead man with ominous promos, cryptic vignettes, and enough gloomy fog machines to rival a Dublin city walk of shame. But try as they might, the powers that be couldn't quite sell the illusion that there were two Undertakers roaming the earth. So why on earth, or not on earth as it would often appear to be, would they not buy into there being two Undertakers, especially when one of the Undertakers was like a materialistic, money-driven dime store twin? Well, they wouldn't. You see, fans weren't buying it. They saw through the charade like it was a poorly executed Papa Shango voodoo trick. Even the introduction of, I'm about to say this, Leslie Nielson.
That's right, I'm back.
As his famous character, Detective Frank Drebin from the Naked Gun movies, you know, the one with another redacted fella, to solve the case as who the real Undertaker was.
What was that?
They just could not keep fans interested. And yet, despite like all the eye-rolling of the audience in typical Vinnie Mac fashion, the WWF just forged ahead with the spectacle. SummerSlam 1994 became ground zero for this supernatural showdown as the two takers squared off in an epic clash of undead titans, with one titan looking like a more intimidating one than the other, and they had different coloured gloves. They say impersonation is the most sincere form of flattery. And speaking of impersonations, now it's time for today's sponsor. Attention WWF Universe, are you ready for the ultimate impersonation extravaganza?
Let me tell you something, brother.
Jason Sensation, the maestro of mimicry, and he's here to unveil the most jaw-dropping impressionist business this side of the squared circle has ever seen.
Get on your throne.
Remember the days of DX and the Attitude Era when wrestling was f***ing awesome? Well, relive those glory days when you book Jason and he'll do impersonations of all your favourite heroes from that time. Owen Hart.
I know I'm late, but my nose got here 10 minutes ago.
Well, why don't I just come down there and slap the piss out of you, you little punk?
British Bulldog, I think he did one. There's a few more. But wait, there's more. You have Stone Cold impersonators on the cards like Stone Cold E.T.
This is Stone Cold E.T. and I just want to order a couple White Castles to go.
Stone Cold Shark Boy.
The next time you stick that thermometer up my ass, there's gonna be hell to pay, you son of a bitch.
Will Sasso did Stone Cold also.
What?
And even Kevin Owens Stone Cold. Also, Goldberg. I know, he was just a bald guy and had black trunks kind of like Stone Cold, but they'll all be available to book.
Give me some more Owen Hart.
Well, you know, I wake up in the morning and I love the smell of coffee all the way in Brazil.
Come on, Owen. Oh, come on.
Expect the unexpected as we raise some hell in the world of impersonations. I think there's a Bret Hart one in there and the Shawn Michaels impersonation. All your favourites from the fun time in wrestling.
Yeah, Macho Man is one thing to say, but the rest is perfection.
Book your spot now and let the laughter begin. Because in the world of Jason Sensation, is that his real name? Every day is the main event. So we're at SummerSlam, and let's not mince words here, people. This was terrible. It was less a battle of wits and more a battle of who could execute the most tombstone pile drivers without really breaking character, and Undertaker is quite hard to break. Editor, put in the footage of Booker T and all those people doing the spin-a-rooney and making the Undertaker try to laugh, and he kind of laughs, and people are like, oh, we always tried to make the Undertaker break character, but he never broke character, he's such a badass, all that stuff. Throw that in. You can throw it in while I'm talking about it as well. There's a few. I think Triple H does a spin-a-rooney. Can you do a spin-a-rooney? I cannot do a spin-a-rooney, but I'm keeping talking so you can allow that footage to play. Hopefully it doesn't get copyright restricted. Anyway, in the end it was the true Undertaker, the OG dead man, or as some people say, the OG dead man, who emerged victorious, sending his counterfeit counterpart straight to hell, or back to purgatory from where he whence came. Where did he come from? Where was he supposed to come from? Was he also good at carpentry like The Undertaker? They could have fleshed out the story like this.
I'm the one who brought The Undertaker to the World Wrestling Federation the first time, and I am the one who has brought him back.
Anyway, the fake Undertaker was played by none other than Brian Lee. He had a good run in Jim Cornette's Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which is how I assumed he landed on Vince's radar, and would later become a fella called Chains in the Disciple of the Apocalypse motorcycle gang. Not to be confused with Chuck Palumbo, who rode a motorcycle, or indeed anyway connected to the biker chain match that happened between, I think, Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker, and then the FBI showed up.
We had no choice.
WWF tried to recreate this storyline when they became the WWE, and they had a Kane and a fake Kane. Big shit don't work. Look at Sin Cara. It doesn't work. It's a cool premise, but you're just executing it so poorly. You need the excellence of execution. Bret the Hitman Hartford. Anyway, what did we learn from this bizarre chapter in wrestling history? Well, perhaps, I don't know. I actually don't know what we learned. Luckily for the real Undertaker, his legacy as a wrestling icon, when it might have speed wobbled, it didn't. It course corrected quite quickly. He immediately went on to revisit his feud with Yokozuna, where Chuck Norris, who was portraying his Walker Texas Ranger persona, was a special guest enforcer and prevented interference from Yokozuna's friends. And sometimes you just have to embrace the absurdity and enjoy the spectacle for what it is. It's a wild ride through the wacky world of sports entertainment.
Where to, Stephanie?
That's it. That's the story. Like, subscribe, listen to the podcast, ring that notification bell, and remember, it's all fun and games until someone gets hit in the face with a steel chair. Stay safe, stay sane.